Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss the spherical mirrors. As you can see that the mirrors whose reflecting surface are spherical are called spherical mirrors, and there are two types of spherical mirrors. The first one is called concave mirror and the second one is convex mirror. So, a concave mirror is the mirror whose reflecting surface is curved inward, and on the other hand, a convex mirror is the mirror whose reflecting surface is curved outwards. So, we will see it diametrically. So, it is a concave mirror and it is a convex mirror, and these are the reflecting surface, and the painted surface is red. So there are two types of reflecting surfaces. Now we will move further. Suppose it is a concave mirror and this is a convex mirror. I am denoting these two by Mn, and we will define some important points related to the mirror. And the very first one is the pole. So first of all we will define the pole, and the pole is basically the center of reflecting surface lying on the surface. As you can see, this is denoted by P, and now we will talk about a center of curvature. It is the center of imaginary sphere from which a spherical mirror is cut out. So for the concave mirror it will be towards left, and for the convex mirror it will be towards right. And if I will join the center of curvature to the pole, then we will get a line that is called the principal axis. But before that, that is important to know that the distance between center of curvature and the pole is called radius of curvature. So as you can see that the distance from pole to the center of curvature is the radius of curvature, and a line that joins pole to the center of curvature is your principal axis. Now just imagine that a line is coming on the mirror and that is parallel to the principal axis, so it will follow the law of reflection and it is the reflected ray. If I will draw more lines like this, then it is another line and one more line, and it is very clear that if all the light rays are parallel to the principal axis, they are meeting at a point on the principal axis, and this particular point is called principal focus. The same can be done for the convex mirror too. The parallel lines parallel to the principal axis will fall on the mirror and it will reflect back. As you can see that the light rays are diverging, so we will join them on the back side and they will meet at a point behind the mirror, and this point is called the principal focus. Now we will move further. The distance between the pole and the focus is called focal length, and there is a relation between the radius of curvature and the focal length, like it it is once again the animated thing, and the relation is that radius of curvature is approximately twice of the focal length. And as the one said that aperture, I told you that this is the diameter of the reflecting surface. Now there are very important things that needs to be known by the students while drawing the ray diagram. So we will first think and remember and learn about these things. Uh, so there are basic properties that needs to be done on drawing the image of an object, and for the formation of image there should be at least two incident light rays that must after reflection intersect each other for the formation of the image. And the rules for the formation of images are like once you know that there are only two laws of reflection, so these laws are also derived from those laws only. And the very first one is that if a light ray is falling on the mirror and that is parallel to the principal axis, then after reflection it will pass through the focus. If you can see that C was the center of curvature, so if I will join the point of incidence to the center of curvature, then this dotted line will be a normal, and if it is a normal, then angle of incidence I will be the angle between normal and incident ray, and the angle between normal and reflected ray will be R, and these two needs to be equal as it follows law of reflection. The same can be done for the concave mirror too. So it is my concave mirror, this is pole, center of curvature, and this is my principal axis, and the light ray that is coming parallel to the principal axis. So after reflection, if I will just draw it on the back side, then it will meet at a point, and that point is called focus. And again, if you will draw the normal, that is the line that joins the point of incidence to the center of curvature, then these two are angle of incidence and angle of reflection. The second thing is that if a light ray is coming towards focus, then after reflection from the mirror it becomes parallel to the principal axis, and that is the reverse of the previous law. So once again, it is my normal, this is my angle of incidence, this is angle of reflection. So remember that if a light ray is approaching through focus, then after reflection from the mirror, the image light ray will be parallel to the principal axis. And the same can be done for the convex mirror too. This is the light ray that approaches focus. So after reflection, it will be parallel to the principal axis. Now the third point is that if a light ray is passing through the center of curvature, then as this line will be normal to the mirror, so in that case angle of incidence will be equal to 0, and as the law of reflection says that if I is 0, R must be 0. So to satisfy this condition, the light ray reflects back with the same path. As you can see, this is the same path reflection, because in that case angle of incidence is 0, so angle of reflection will also be 0. And the same can be done for the convex mirror too. So it is a light ray, so it will reflect back. This is the third law. And the next one is, if a light ray incident obliquely, means it is not passing through focus, it is not passing through center of curvature, and it is not parallel to the principal axis, then in that case it will follow the general rule, and that is angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. So in that case it is an incident ray, and as I told you that the line that joins center of curvature to the mirror is a normal. So in this case my principal axis is behaving like a normal, so this is my angle of incidence, this is the angle of reflection, and these two are equal. And the same is for convex mirror too. Now there are few points to note, that in all the above cases the law of reflections are followed, as I told you. And now we are ready to learn the image formation by concave mirror. So in that case we will take the object in different situation, we will apply the laws that we learned earlier, and we will form the image. So in the first case my object is placed at infinity, so this is my concave mirror, and if the object is at infinity, in the light rays coming from that object must be parallel to each other. And as you can see, if I will draw the normal, if I will make the angle of incidence, angle of reflection, then after reflection the light rays are actually meeting, and you know that after reflection if the light rays are actually meeting, means it is a real image. So we are going to draw the image, and as you can see this image is very small, and it is formed at focal plane or focus. So this is the properties. Position will be at F, nature is real and inverted, inverted you can see, and real because the light rays are actually meeting, and the size is very small, that you can see in the diagram. Now in the next case, suppose my object is not at infinity, it is placed close to C. So this is the case when my object is placed near C or beyond C, you can see. So we need two light rays to form the image. So here goes one light ray parallel to the principal axis that will pass through the focus, and the other one that passes through the center of curvature must retrace its path, and after reflection you can see that the light rays are actually meeting, so definitely they are going to form a real image. So I will draw the image now. This is image, and it is clearly seen that the image is small, it is inverted with respect to object, and the location is between C and F. So these are the properties when my object is beyond C. Now we will move further to the third position when my object is placed at the center of curvature. So once again we will take two light rays for image formation, the one parallel to principal axis and the other one that passes through the focus, and you can see that both are following the laws of reflection and the light rays are actually meeting, so image will be real. And this is my image, and it is clearly seen that image is inverted, it is real, and it is equal to the image of object. Now we will move further and we will shift my object between C and F. Now in that case we need once again two light rays. So as you can see, these light rays after reflection are meeting, so it is a real image. And if I will draw the image, it is magnified image, inverted of course. So the properties can easily be understood from drawing the ray diagram. Once the diagram is clear, the properties are clear, the image is inverted, that is clearly here from this diagram. The image is real since the light rays are actually meeting, and it is magnified. So these are the properties. And now the fifth position is if my object is at focus. So in that case, if you will draw two light rays, one parallel to principal axis, other that is going through center of curvature, then reflected rays are parallel to each other and they will form the image at infinity. And the nature of image will be highly enlarged or magnified. Now we will move further, and this is the last case when the object is placed between pole and focus. So we will draw two light rays like this, and if you can see clearly the light rays are diverging, so they cannot meet. So we have to extend the light rays in the back side, and since the light rays are not actually meeting, so we can say that it is a virtual image, and it is magnified because the size of image is greater than the object. And in the first case, in this case only, the image is erect, it is not an inverted image, it is a erect image, and this is magnified. So these are the properties of the images. Now we can summarize all the properties at a glance. When the object is infinity, beyond C, at C, between F and C, at F, and between P and F, what is the position, size of image, and the nature of image. But you need to redraw the diagrams for all the cases, and then these image properties will be very easy to understand. Okay, so we will move further, and it is the chance of convex mirror. So we will use the convex mirror to form the image. The rules will be same as the previous. So here in this case we have pole, focus, and the center of curvature. And as you know that all these focus and center of curvature are on the side of the painted surface. So we will take an object at any location, and we need to draw two lines for the formation of image. You can take more light rays. So one is parallel to the principal axis, and if I will extend it, it will pass through the focus, and the second one is targeting center of curvature, so it will return back. And in this case also the reflected light rays are diverging, so they cannot form a real image. So on extending the light rays on the back side of mirror, they will intersect and the image will be virtual in that case. And it is clearly seen that the size of image is very small, and the image is erect as respect to object. So these are the properties, and if you will take the object at infinity, the situation will be same. So you can say that there are only two positions. The first one is this, when the object is at any position, and the second one if my object is at infinity. So for both the cases the image will be virtual and erect, and it will be a diminished image. Now we will discuss the use of concave mirror. So concave mirror is used in torches, searchlight and headlights of vehicle. They are also used as saving mirrors. They are used by dentists to see large image of your teeth. And the fourth one, large concave mirrors are used to concentrate sunlight to produce heat in solar furnace. And we will move to the convex mirror. There are uses of convex mirrors too, and the very important use is that convex mirrors are used as a rear view mirror in vehicles. So many times you have traveled with the vehicles, they are having a rear view mirrors like car and buses. So those mirrors are convex mirrors, and if you remind the properties of the image form, then the image is virtual, erect and is diminished or small. They are also used as magic mirrors used to form funny images. So these were the properties of the image formed by convex and concave mirror, and some uses of convex and concave mirror.